In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the absolute best way to trade New York session using London session as an indicator of where we are most likely going to go. I'm going to show you two variants of what we can expect in New York session involving London session, the indicator that I use, the settings on the indicator, and all that good stuff. So all I ask is if you do enjoy this video, please drop a like, smash a comment for me, and subscribe if you're new, and let's jump in. All right, everyone. So if you haven't seen my New York video on why I prefer to trade New York, I'll plug it in the description. It's from about 2 videos ago. But anyway, in that video, I kind of highlighted what I'm about to talk about, but not in depth like I'm about to now. So right here, you guys can see that most of the time, London session will make the high or low of the day, and New York will be a continuation of that move. So the reason I like trading New York session is because we're able to kind of go off the data that happened in Asia, but more importantly, London. Sometimes we will sweep London or London high or London low, and then reverse. So that's another variant that I'm about to show you in 2 seconds. So if you just follow me down here, we have the variant. So over here, focus on this one, and then we'll go down to each one. Right here, you can see we have Asia session. London session will take the high, cause a shift in structure to the downside, and then New York session will retrace, and then this will be an optimal trade entry here that we can look to take a continuation. Sometimes we'll have a sweep of Asia. Focus on this one over here, guys. This is variation 2, where Asia will get swept. Then London will have a break. We'll sweep London one more time, and then New York session will reverse. So that's another variant. This is why I like confirmation entries, because I'm able to know if this one's going to happen or this one. Not to 100% degree, but have a better idea. And then this is for the bullish example down here. We have Asia session. I'm going to show you live chart examples of each one. We have Asia session down here. London session takes the low and causes the shift in market structure. We retrace down. Right here on the right, you can say the same thing for variation 2. Asia gets swept, London gets swept, and then New York reverses afterwards, giving us another entry. So now that you guys saw the kind of variations, let's jump onto the charts. So here's a perfect example of variation 1. You can see we have Asia range over here. London session takes the top of Asia range, creates a market shift, right? So this is our market shift. We come up, and then New York session right here gives us our entry to continue down. So this is absolutely perfect, and I'm going to break this down on where I personally would be looking for entries. So if we zoom in on this price action, you can see that this is clearly our high that goes and creates a low, breaking below this structural low. So this is going to be our strong high over here. You can see we have some sort of inducement, which is what we like to see big time, especially when we look to enter trades. And then right here, we have a nice high probable order block, or supply zone, whatever you want to call it, that swept liquidity. This whole range here swept liquidity before causing a move to the downside. This is beautiful, a beautiful pre-New York setup right here. And you can see that this thing actually got respected once more. So we ended up creating a new leg in New York after you could have taken a trade here. It retraced all the way back up and then got respected once again. So these daily cycle plays are super, super clean, and I like to use them for my trading. So this is one where you could have literally just put a limit just above this inducement, having your stop loss above the London session high, and then you can look to target the low as your first TP. This thing obviously ended up melting a little bit more, but this would have been a beautiful first take profit. Now I'll show you guys an example of variation 2. For sells. All right, so here's a perfect example of variation 2 where we will sweep London session high and then look to short. So right here, you can see we have the Asia session range over here, and London session continues to trend up. London session makes this high right here. We then push above, taking out London session liquidity like I showed in the drawing earlier. Then we have that break of structure, right? So this is beautiful. These are the trades we love to take here in the RM trading community because we love to see liquidity get taken out, right? And right here, if I mark this out, we have London session high right here. Then you can see pre-New York right here sweeps this liquidity to the left, giving us a break of structure. Now, this is going to be our price leg that we're playing with from here to here. And we have a beautiful, if I just actually delete this for a sec, then we have this beautiful order block supply zone right here resting above this inducement as well. Because if you don't see an inducement, most likely you are an inducement. We had a structure break below this low like I had just previously talked about. And then this is a trade where you could have put your entry anywhere above this high because we've ran session liquidity over here. Most likely we're going to be looking for internal liquidity or opposing liquidity, which would be over below these lows. This would have been a beautiful first target. And you can see this thing didn't quite make it down to these lows over here, but beautiful stuff where we take session liquidity, right? And this is the importance of waiting for those confirmation entries here, because if you were to just assume London high was going to hold right here, you would have taken a loss. You would have got taken out early like a lot of these people did. Then we sweep session liquidity, we get that break of structure, then you could look to take this entry. So beautiful. Now let's move over to variation 1 for the long. Here we have a perfect example of variation 1 where we're talking about if it's going to be a bullish New York, London session low should hold. So right here, if we look to the left, we have this nice demand zone right here that caused this big move to the upside. We came down very corrective, and in London session, we ended up taking the lows of Asia. So this is Asia session over here. We ended up taking the lows right here, and then we caused a break of structure to the upside. If I just mark this out like so, then we can jump down to the 5-minute time frame, and where'd I go? So this was the 15-minute order block over here. On the 5-minute time frame, you can see it clear as day. We end up sweeping Asia session lows right here. Now all we're doing is waiting for a break of structure. We get that break of structure here, and then all we're doing is waiting for a retracement into the London low here if we're expecting a bullish New York, right? And because of this corrective price action, because of all the liquidity above, and because we're expecting a new higher high to be made, because this was the swing, we retrace, now we're expecting a higher high, we're expecting a bullish New York session. So that means most likely London session is going to hold, the low is going to hold. And right here, you can see we have a nice demand zone that caused this move to the upside. We retrace right into it, and this is an area where you could have looked to put an entry at the London low, or what you could have done is waited for a confirmation and wait for a structure shift once New York started. This is pre-New York, so a lot of the time I've been noticing there are a lot of setups that happen in that window from 7 to 8, so I'm kind of testing them myself, but you could have got an entry either right here at this low or right here, because we had this demand zone get created that broke structure above these highs, and this could have been an entry once we broke down, stop loss just below these lows, anywhere within here. You're expecting London low to hold, so then your target could be up here at these highs. You can see this again, ended up running pretty heavily, but just using the daily cycle and using these different variations to our advantage makes New York session a lot easier. So let's jump into the final variation for longs. Here's another beautiful example of variation 2 for longs. Right here, you can see we have London session lows. To the left, you can see we have Asia lows over here. And then we had a false break of structure to the upside, which a lot of people would be looking to take longs in here. But the market, you can see we end up coming down. This is why we like to use confirmation entries. You can see the market comes down. We end up sweeping London session low. Then we get that break of structure in New York session above this area that caused the move down. And then we have this beautiful order block that swept liquidity to the left, causing a move up. And this was just an absolute beautiful trade here. Stop just had to be below this low. Using liquidity and then using the daily cycle plays to our advantage. Hopefully this video helped you. You can take these variations and apply them in your own trading. What I want you to do when you're finished watching this video, and of course dropping a like, is go on your charts, turn on the session indicator. I'll turn it on for you guys right now, just so you guys can see the settings and everything. But I want you to go on your charts and kind of just look for these two variations for the longs and for the shorts, and just train your eyes to see them. It's going to be amazing because you'll see how many times they happen. It's very nice. And this is the exact cycle play that I use personally for New York session. So this is the indicator right here. It's called Asian Session Range by FXN. I believe I will just go here and double check. FXN Asian Session Range, and then I will show you the inputs that I use, so you guys can just kind of pause this video right now and look at all this kind of stuff here. I'll just skim through it, and I'll go over to style as well. So these are this is the opacity that I have it at, 5%, and then that's how you kind of get the colors looking like mine, okay? And then same thing for New York session. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.